What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosa. You can find me over on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. That's the one, the only, Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, we're back once again, of course, because it's ITG Daily, dude. This is what we do.
It's daily, but somehow a week just slips by, doesn't it? We're almost at the end already.
I know, just like that, man. There's always something to talk about. It just flies by. Next thing, we're on to the next day, and we're getting the doc ready for that show. And man, oh man. You know what, Scott, yesterday, I saw some friends over on our TV streaming services, podcast networks around the globe, and of course, Twitch and YouTube at the official ITG, hit us up on Twitter. So thank you for some of you who actually did what I asked for. It was nice to see some people coming around. Let's see if we can keep that ball rolling. Hit us up over on our Twitter feed at the official ITG. Stop by, hashtag us, the ITG Daily. Say hi. Let's talk about what you're gaming, what we're gaming. And Scott, we'll talk about what's on the dock today because Left 4 Dead is back. Phil Spencer is confident in Halo Infinite will launch this holiday, and EA buys another mobile studio. Dude, what is going on over there?
Yeah, it seems like there's some moves being made. We're out of E3 season, but that doesn't mean that it's stopping now.
Nope, it is far from over. Let's get into it, Scott, because this Left 4 Dead survivors are coming to Zombie Army 4. Dude, you got to be a fan of this.
Yes, this one caught my eye for sure. All this talk about Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, obviously bringing that into the conversation again.
Sure.
But I thought it was nice to see something actually Left 4 Dead. Some content actually kind of reemerge.
Scott, this is definitely your take. So why don't you lead us off on this one?
All right. Well, there is some people that may be familiar to some out there. There's Bill, Francis, Louise, and Zoe are coming back. Now, this is not a new Left 4 Dead game, but this is them returning in a different form in Zombie Army 4 Dead War. Now, we've taken a look at Zombie Island 4 before, Zombie Army 4 before. In terms of review, that was a great time for me.
Yeah.
But this is a new breath of that. This is a third-person co-op zombie shooter game, very similar to Left 4 Dead, actually, when you put it in terms like that. So this is a natural fit for gameplay. The multiplayer mode in Zombie Army 4 supports up to 4 people. They all play co-op. And this is only different now because it is in a third-person perspective. So these characters join, and it doesn't sound like it'll change up too much other than just the characters and their little quips. They like to say stuff back and forth and reference things of the past. Now, this is coming alongside the Abaddon Asylum update. I believe it's just an update, a DLC of sorts, but it's a free update for people who own the game already. And this is a brand new level, a brand new campaign kind of chapter where you're fighting against the Baron Umbra, and it features these 4 familiar characters.
That sounds good. I think fans of Left 4 Dead have obviously, like, that's what we've been saying, right? They've been starving for a game like this, and this is why we're starting to see Back 4 Blood come around as well. Turtle Rock working on their thing over there. But Rebellion, known for 2 things. Well, known for a lot of things, but really, Sniper Elite, right? And then the spin-off from Sniper Elite series was the Zombie Army series, and then that kicked off, and now we're into 4, and now they've added in Left 4 Dead. Dude, they must have been pretty pumped when designing this and getting this pitch out there. It's going to be pretty cool to get that IP into your game.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's a certain level of recognition. Zombie Army didn't need the recognition, but they've received it. And now I'm wondering just how big Zombie Army 5 is going to have to
be. Exactly. They're going to step it up, man. But, yeah, they don't know. They do have the recognition out there, and so does Cyberpunk 2077. Scott, Microsoft's special Cyberpunk 2077 refund policy will end in July. Just a heads up. So if you're looking to refund the game, I gotta think you've either beaten it by now or just tucked it away or refund your money already. But it's coming up in July. You can no longer do that with Microsoft as of July 6th. So that's something to be aware of. It just made its way back, Scott, onto the PlayStation Network. So it's available for PlayStation owners, but it came with a high recommendation of getting it on the PS4 Pro or the PS5, not the base model PS4. So it tells you the kind of state that the game is still in, which doesn't sound like it's very good.
No, it doesn't sound very impressive, but it must be in some capacity acceptable for Microsoft to reverse course on this refund policy. They have to kind of put a hard line in there somewhere when the game is fixed. And luckily, it seems to be worked on. Then they have to treat it like a normal game now.
Scott, what do you think we'll see Cyberpunk 2078?
I have a feeling we might see just another reprint of 2077. I think that might if somebody just does a soft reset. I think that might be how it's commercially viable.
Yeah, it's just there's still a lot of questions up in the air, right? Obviously, CD Projekt Red doing a lot of work to kind of get this up and running and polished to where we all feel the game should have been at launch. But I kind of question now the future where it holds for Cyberpunk. What does it look like? Because when you take a look at the initial trailer, dude, I was pumped. Like that looks so cool. And then you jump into the game and it's not so cool. Cars are still flipping on its head. People are just kind of popping in and out of nowhere. Like it's there's a lot of issues.
I've seen some hilarious and ridiculous glitches.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like it's just a glitch fest right now. But it's back on PlayStation Store. Microsoft is allowing you to refund it still, but you only have until July 6th. So yeah, a lot of questions as what's the future look like for Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red for all that matter. But what looks like a nice future is EA as they acquire Playdemic for $1.4. You ready, Scott? $1 billion, man. Like holy. Woo. EA is they're on a spending spree, so I want to get into this. And this was I came across this article and I thought, wow, man, like this one is definitely interesting. Warner Brother Games, studio behind Golf Clash, finds new home ahead of Warner Media Discovery merge. This is where it's all kind of coming out of because Warner Media is now merging with Discovery, and it was the merge for like $43 billion. So,
holy.
Exactly, right? Electronic Arts has agreed to purchase Playdemic from Warner Media for $1.4 billion in an all-cash deal the companies announced yesterday. Funded in 2010, the Manchester, UK-based Playdemic is best known for the developer of the mobile and Facebook game Golf Clash. We have enjoyed working with the talented team at Playdemic as they have grown Golf Clash beyond all expectations into a hit mobile game with tremendous longevity. This is Warner Brothers Game president David Haddad said. So, Scott, if it's making good money, why would you give this up?
Yeah, it seems like it's gotten big enough just to acquire the eye of several other investor kind of things, but I don't think that's what they designed the game for, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they want to just kind of build up and then sell themselves off, right?
Yeah.
David continues, while we have great respect for the Playdemic team, our decision to divest is a part of the overall strategy to build games based on Warner Brothers' storied franchises. Dude. Warner Brother Games is now going to focus on Warner Brothers only titles? Like, they're not going to have a diverse library? Like, doesn't that seem like a strange maneuver for you? So everything now being published out of Warner Brothers is going to be a Warner Brother inspired game. That's what I read out of this. Like, does that make sense to you, Scott? Is that what you expect out of this little conversation that's going on now?
That sounds like that's what they're headed towards, but I'm not sure why they would want to be, kind of pigeonholed.
Exactly. No, like why wouldn't you want to have a diverse lineup, bring in other studios like Playdemic, who is apparently doing really well as they just sold for $1.4 billion. So like it just seems like an odd move to focus just on Warner Brothers titles. It's not like it's just Marvel. You even see Marvel now branching out to other studios to let them take on their IP to branch out and make broader moves in the gaming industry, in the gaming space alone. You see them trying to maneuver out. No longer, at one point, Disney was all kind of focused and kind of pigeonholed into their one direction, but now they're bringing in other studios, bringing other talents to then take what they have built and branch out. But at the same time, you don't see everybody just kind of getting stuck in one direction, man. I don't see Warner Brothers producing like Batman. You're gonna get Batman now every year. Like, what are they gonna do here? We haven't seen a Batman game in 6 years because of Rocksteady. So like, where are they at? And that's not even what they're working on right now, dude. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this what does that even leave them to create? It's not as though they're known for a Halo series or something of that pedigree,
right? Like, it's just a lot of questions, Scott, because I think there's two fans, right? You have the Marvel fans, and then you have the DC fans, and then you have, I guess, the in-between, who you kind of like a bit of both. And I'm kind of in for a bit of both. I like Batman. I love Batman. I think Batman's incredible. But I'm not looking... Dude, when we had Batman Arkham Asylum, that was amazing. And then you got Arkham City, and then you got Arkham Knight. And by the time I finished up with Arkham Knight, I was done with Batman.
I missed the boat on all of the Arkham series.
Oh, Scott!
I played Arkham City and it just didn't get me. But Batman is just, in my opinion, I respect that there's a lot of people out there that like Batman. It's a long-standing series, of course. It's better than anything I could write. But that being said, why is Batman kind of the lamest character in his own universe?
Oh man! All right, before we uproar on in the internets and stuff, let's continue on because Playdemic becomes the fourth significant acquisition for EA since December. Dude, they bought the racing specialist Codemasters for $1.2 billion. Take-Two's interactive own attempt to add the company to its portfolio. They also followed up with Glue Media for $2.1 billion. Dude, like, they just keep buying. And they also bought Super Mega Baseball developer Metalhead Software in May. It seems like they're really starting to strive into the world of mobile. We obviously know how big mobile market is, but now they just seem to be buying a lot that are involved in the mobile side. Have already got a great foundation on their hands, and they're just going to start rolling with it. And when you spend 1 point something billion dollars or $2 billion, future looks good for some of them. That's for sure.
They're flushing that market with money. And
man.
if mobile wasn't big, it's about to get bigger. But it makes me wonder how does EA have a small nation's wealth to spend on all these companies?
Dude, as much as everybody likes to hate on EA, they make a ton of money. FIFA is a money maker, right?
Those loot boxes, man. I guess it's just the way it is now.
Exactly, right? There's that. There is other IPs. Star Wars is doing really well for them now, finally seeing that kind of catch up. And now they want to branch into the mobile side of things. They kind of are there already, but they want to take on the big guys now and bring them in and really start. Dude, they're going to generate a ton of money. They just talked about how Andrew Wilson made something like $48 million last year. This is just like, dude, EA is not hurting right now. They're doing really well for themselves. Hopefully that will turn around. And, well, they just launched Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And we're going to talk about that right now because BioWare talks about canceled Mass Effect movie and why a TV adaptation would work better. This conversation was sparked by a Mass Effect movie that had been held in limbo for years, only to be eventually scrapped. With the Mass Effect Legendary Edition bringing an entirely new wave of fans aboard the Normandy. Wow, really? Oh, well done, I guess. We'll go with that. BioWare's Mac Walters recently shed some light on the canceled movie adaptation and why the TV series format makes more sense. The Mass Effect movie is in question was back in the 2010 under Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers. Dude, that makes... with Warner Brothers, right? Now they just sold and went... There's just a lot of things going on. Maybe Warner Brothers shut it down. But it will never be able to pick up enough traction to get the project moving forward at full speed ahead. Then Legendary had a shakeup on the leadership level. The question came into play of a movie or TV. Unfortunately, the question ended up draining any interest. Wow, eh?
Oh.
Dude, wouldn't that make... Like, if you're going to make a movie, I think the Mass Effect trilogy would have been a great way to go.
Oh, yeah. I guess there's a question of how do you condense that much content into the span of a movie versus a TV show. I guess that gives you a lot more play.
Absolutely, right? But now that the remaster of the community is alive and well, thanks to the remastered Legendary Edition, video game adaptations don't they don't have the best track record, right? That's, I think, the biggest thing, and we've seen that suffer. But because of that, either the version becomes convoluted or comes out being so far off from the source material that it's unrecognizable. With the TV series, there is a time to develop the narrative, world build, and ensure that the viewer is as immersed as possible. Hence, The Witcher, right?
Yeah, that's a good example there.
Exactly. So maybe there is a possibility we'll see something out of Mass Effect. Again, I struggled with the Legendary Edition, unfortunately. Nate was all over it. But now that people are kind of getting back into it, dude, this might be a good time to start up that TV series. We've seen a lot of people now, too. When you talk about Naughty Dog, and The Last of Us was going to be a movie, and they scrapped that, and they said, nope, let's do a TV series. Maybe The Witcher kind of kicked off this whole renaissance now of maybe video games are better off as a TV series instead of a movie.
Yeah, well, we're getting a Splinter Cell of sorts. There's more Resident Evil planned. There's a lot of stuff that's making cross-media debut.
Sure.
So I would agree. I think this might be the right time for it, especially if that legendary Mass Effect remaster sold well. That tells me that there's some people that are interested.
Absolutely. No, I think so, right? I think it's going to bring a lot of people, a lot of old fans, a lot of returning fans, and then maybe introduce a bunch of new fans to the Mass Effect world. And we'll see what they do with the newest Mass Effect, because that is in development as well. So that might help kick off the TV series too. Who knows?
Oh yeah, and I don't think there's a Star Trek necessarily on the go. The last one was Picard or something, but that was not super well received. So there may be a hole existing for it already. There's a void that needs to be filled.
Yeah, no, it definitely could be an opportunity. Let's get into what Phil Spencer had to say, because Halo Infinite devs committed to holiday 2021 launch, said Phil Spencer. Spencer made the comment while guesting on Dropped Frames, discussing how the Halo Infinite team was approaching the last legs of the development, among other topics. Spencer says that the team is currently narrowing down the release of Halo Infinite and already has a good idea for a launch window. Quote, "We know kind of our range in a 3 to 4 week range," Spencer said. "We don't have yet the exact day. There's some other things with some other game timing." Dude, this is like really weird. "There's some other things with some other game timing that we're trying to look at. We'll have better clarity over the summer, but this isn't a months thing. It's just down to a few weeks." Instead of picking this date and having it to move it a week, which at this point feels like a fail, we don't want to do that. Let's wait until we're really solid on what the date is, Spencer continued. But the team is very committed to the holiday. We feel good about that.
So my initial thought is it sounds like they're just trying to divide they're picking a date among several weeks. So they already have a launch window decided, likely due to sales. It's a holiday season. You got to get that at the right time. But is this some sort of intelligence that we're seeing? They know that there's another game that's going to drop at about the same time, and
that's kind of what I'm wondering.
Don't want to. Yeah, right? I'm thinking it's a competitive edge thing where they don't want to drop their game at the same time as Battlefield, and then it just doesn't sell as well.
No, absolutely.
I've seen EA do that with Titanfall. They've buried Titanfall beneath other games. Oh man, it does not work out well,
dude. With their own titles, right? That's what EA did. So, do they drop this? Are they waiting to see like what comes around where they're looking to launch Halo Infinite? What other titles are going to get announced this summer for a release date come the holiday season? So this way they can align themselves to go, you know what, Halo I think will dominate over this title. Or we have this window of opportunity here for this week. Let's take that week. Let's own that week for Halo and get in there and get running on that one. Holiday season, really just a couple months away almost at this point. Like we're just at the brink here of getting into the summer, but at the same time, when you come into planning all this stuff, it's really not that far down the pipeline, right? Mailbox joins us over at twitch.tv/theofficialITG, just like you can, and wants to know, Phil, when can I just get my Xbox Series X? I hear you, man. I get you. I heard actually, well, Walmart's got the S right now. If you want to go that way, but I definitely
I
recommend
had
the
to
X.
I had to leave my information with some associates at EB Games, and they called me
So,
back within a week. That worked. That worked.
try that, I guess, maybe. But yeah, no, everybody's still looking for that next Xbox. Let alone never mind the Halo Infinite. But we'll see. Is it? How confident, Scott, are you that we'll actually get Halo this year?
I think they have to. I think they really have to hit that window. Holiday season is putting it. It's already putting it right at the edge of the year. So
Yeah.
I think any sort of delay after that would be a huge deal, and not the first delay too, right? So
Nope.
this is getting on in time now. I think there's a huge amount of pressure for them to drop it, but that it's funny. Adam's idea gives me an idea. Maybe they're just waiting to try and sell more Xbox Series consoles before they put Halo out there in the market.
Well, absolutely. That'll the more people have Xbox consoles in their hands, the more likely Halo will get picked up, right? But Scott, let's
Oh
get into
yeah.
it as we often do. We get late in the show. What game announcements, updates, and releases are coming today?
Oh, we have a new update coming in August here. Sorry, this is a new. Rather, this is a new update on a title that we knew very little about, but
Yeah.
more information is coming too, and that is Aliens Firefight. So this now has a new name. I'm not sure what it was called before that, but now it is called Aliens Fireteam Elite.
Woo!
Big change there. But this is set to be. When I was watching it, it reminded me of something of Left 4 Dead, but versus the xenomorphs,
Yeah.
and in a different universe. But this now has a release date of August 24th, so
Nice.
that is known now, and that's something to get excited about.
There you go.
I'm certainly interested. But beyond that, we have, I believe this is. Oh, that is in July. Okay, so turn cities to rubble in the Rampage-inspired Gigapocalypse. I I like that title, Gigapocalypse. That is creative. That is coming to Steam Early Access on July 22nd.
Dude, I saw this morning and instantly went right back to the old days of Rampage. I remember my Linux little handheld portable system. Dude, it was so cool playing Rampage. I love being the big ape, climbing up the buildings and taking the people out, eating them or throwing them away. It was so much fun. So when I saw
I
this,
didn't,
I laughed. It was funny.
I didn't even know Linux had a Game Boy.
Oh, dude, it was so cool. It was probably about this big. And at the time, my parents, we were going to go either with the Game Boy or the Linux. My parents were like, Game Boy's in black and white. You should go this way because it's a color, and this is going to survive. Guess what died? Oh, dude.
Bet on the wrong one. You bought some Laserdisc that day.
Sure did. Yeah.
No, that's funny. We do have some releases today, though. That is full releases, I believe. There's Alex Kidd in the Miracle World DX, and that is coming to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. Then we have Legend of Mana. Now, this one is curious to me. There's a bell ringing in my head. Legend of Mana is coming to the PlayStation 4, the Switch, and the PC. Rogue Book is coming to the PC. And the Eternal Castle Remastered. That's coming to PlayStation 4 and 5.
Well, there we go. Scott, that'll wrap up for today's for ITG Daily. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. And don't forget, you can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG or on YouTube. But if you can't hit us up live, it's no big deal. Catch us later at InsideTheGame.ca or TV streaming networks around the globe and podcast services around the world. Until tomorrow, everybody, we'll see you inside the game.